Right. Yeah, absolutely chucking it down out here. Oh.
Elliot showed up the same way every single day. A calm voice, slow movements, no forcing, no demands. Some days Loki wouldn't come near him at all. Other days he would sit close, watching, deciding. At first progress was almost invisible, but it was there.
Hello? Your mum, are you? Yeah? Right, let's get you waiting, shall we?
Little by little, Loki began to change. The tension in his body softened. His eyes lost their sharp edge and grew curious. He started to play, to explore, to test boundaries with small acts of mischief. Trust didn't arrive all at once. It grew quietly, the way true healing always does. Today, Loki and Elliot share a rhythm that feels natural, almost human. They talk constantly, exchanging sounds, clicks, and soft calls that only they understand. Loki listens, responds, argues, and sometimes interrupts. He has opinions, and he wants them heard.
It is terrible here today. Are you having a...
Loki also loves games, especially ones involving objects he isn't supposed to have. Coins, keys, bits of paper, anything small enough to carry becomes fair game. But Loki doesn't just steal. He negotiates. Every item has its price, and Elliot has learned to keep rewards nearby in case a trade is required. For Loki, these games aren't just entertainment, they are proof. Proof that he feels safe enough to play, safe enough to tease, safe enough to be bold. Elliot laughs through it all, grateful for the sign of life and confidence returning to Loki's wings. What surprises Elliot most is how emotional.
Hiya.
Woke up this morning. How long did you wait? Put this on.
What's this?
The stop top. Hey, excuse me.
I had paralysis down in the sun, and I also had hand dexterity issues over here. It's always something. The jars are really hard for me to open. So I got this device, and I went ahead and I took it out of the box, and I put batteries in because, then I drink with it, so I thought we could give it a try. And I was like, kind of started on the wrong, okay. All right. So there it goes. I already punched the button. Okay, let's go. Let's see if it works. Okay, that's it. That was a little bit of a aggressive, but it was pretty cool, It did the job. I give this 10 out of 10. It works. So I had paralysis down in the sun, and I also had hand dexterity issues over here.
Want to stand up with a bad one. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Yeah, tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
Section.
Tell me, that isn't
The app will then start listening,
foul call.
showing you a spectrogram of
From-
sounds and listing words in
Never
text.
ending
You can
story.
hear it before recording
La la
this
la 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 la.
section. I don't have any pasta. I'm sorry, we can make some later. I don't have any pasta.
I let an AI trade stock.
How tall do you think you are?
5'8".
5'8".
Who's that?
Okay, what shoe size do you wear?
12. Who's that?
12.
Are you giving all my info to?
Okay, is there anything that specifically he needs to do before he gets ready for this? Or, okay, training is on site.
Training.
And how much is it again? 100,000. Okay. Per person. Okay, 100,000 per person. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely be in touch.
Who's that?
Okay, so I signed you up for something.
What is it? What is it? What we
It's
got?
100 man versus one gorilla. shoe size do you wear?
12. Who's that?
12.
You give it all my info too.
Okay, is there anything that specifically he needs to do before he gets ready for this, or okay, training is on site?
Training.
And how much was it again? 100,000. Okay. Per person. Okay, 100,000 per person. Okay.
Yeah.
Capri.
Let's get patented.
Uno.
Oh, this is Uno, Mom. This is not my new spot. Big hug. Mom, you like that too, Mom?
Sure.
Yeah, Mom.
He's so soft. You're a good cat walker.
Yeah, where's that cat from?
You do walk a cat.
So cute, Mom. That's so cute.
You're that, Uno? You're cute.
I love you. Let's go and meow. And what's that do?
That's what cats do. So sweet.
Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, cute. I love you.
You love his little paws? Thank you for being so gentle. We gotta say bye-bye. Why don't you play the secret good night? Oh, okay, I'll see you later.
Hello.
I'm sure you'll see him again.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, look at them go. So cute.
Okay, say good night. Say good night, Uno. Say good night, baby. Your money situation is about to change completely.
Some of these abductions. No. Don't go into us. Just be Magna, that is the wrong way.
I get it. Yellow top Coca-Colas have cane sugar because they're closer for Passover.
My alarm went off. Someone please tell us what this is. I'll tell you what that is, man. That's a keep on walking tree. That's when you're walking and you see a scary ass tree and you're like, I don't know about that. And then you just keep on walking. You just keep on walking. It's hard to
And then red eye.
Ah.
I know. Do you want to go see the birdies? Yeah? Are there squirrels? Yeah.
case scenario.
This is life in the big city.
Hello, Vivi. I get a lot of questions asking what breed of cat Logie is. He is.
I want him to have fresh water.
He has, Grandma, I have a bowl. He has fresh water.
No, I don't want bowl water. I'm going to teach you how to do this. See? Oh, it's water. Oh. I want him to have fresh water.
He has, Grandma, I have a bowl. He has fresh water.
No, I don't want bowl water. I'm going to teach you how to do this. See? Oh, it's water. Oh. I want him to have.
Nothing is actually.
Oh.
Kitchen products.
Wait. Where do you see 343? I see 100 and.
Wait a minute. What happened?
has 4 letters sometimes has 9, but never has 5? What has 4 letters sometimes has 9?
Oh,
Most of the content on network. You do not leave. You can't lay on him. He's asleep.
That is my boyfriend. And you're my cat.
Once or twice worth. We are here in York, England.
We can't just go home. Then again, it can't be worse than America, surely.
And we are going to explore this store called Asda for the first time.
Shout out Asda. If you know, you know.
Oh wow, it's really small. I feel like this entire store could fit in like the deli at Walmart in
Yeah,
America.
but that's because you Americans like to do everything big. And you are...
Cadbury mini roll.
What mini rolls?
Cadbury.
Oh, Cadbury. Sorry, you have to be so extra with your pronunciation. I'm not going to lie.
This is their love message to you. What do they need you to know right now about their true feelings? Please don't leave me. I'm so sorry. I can't live without you. So they're really worried. They have some sort of regrets. They feel like they've made some...
What's their button again? Hey. You tell me you want the foot-long hot dog, okay?
Hi, welcome to Sonic Drive-In. My name is Beth. I'm trying to get started for you.
Tell me what you want.
Hot dogs. Alright. Chili cheese? Yeah.
You want cheese on it?
Yeah.
Do you want anything else?
Yeah.
You want a drink?
Yeah.
What kind of drink do you want?
Strawberry.
You want a strawberry drink? Okay, tell them.
Yeah. I think it's strawberry. You want a strawberry slush?
Strawberry slush? You want a slushie?
No, strawberry race.
Oh my gosh. You got that?
Yeah.
Girl, that is so big. It's a huge hot dog. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Take a bite. Oh my gosh. Are you Sonic the Hedgehog?
How's our animal dog? That's actually why I'm here. Her BP is dropping. She's reacting to the epidural and anesthesia turned it down. Okay.
I need you to understand this. You are my best friend. And I don't mean like best pet friend. I mean best friend. I like you. I need you to understand.
I always think that last little thing. About 2 weeks ago, my neighbor found him with an injured paw. He could not walk. 2 other cats were actually alerting humans to him. So apparently, like, I think our neighbor saw him 2 days later, said he was fine. Next thing I know, this is how he is. That's like how he later.
Did we get the carrier? And let's see if we can get him to walk into it. Have him put the whole stuff in there. He's already done.
Things I do not leave my house without to go hiking.
I tried all the hiking poles. I literally would have fallen up the mountain without these. These are a must enough.
Can I please call my dad?
In the beginning, we had to make a choice about who we were.
Imagine giving your child a beautiful life, and this.
Oh dear.
It's like the burial wall.
Bit differently then, serving as a form of instinctual response, such as is apparent in your present-day animals. The instinctual response served to bring data directly from the soul matrix into the cellular consciousness, bypassing the mind as you think of it, creating an interactive response mechanism through which the organism would receive direct impulse from soul that would direct it toward the action in time necessary for the organism's survival. The organism would not have to think about or choose appropriate action responses, as they would come automatically from the soul matrix. As long as an organism, be it animal, human, or other life form, had a strong instinctual impulse, it would remain under the full control and direction of the soul matrix. Such beings would not operate out of free will, nor would they possess a sense of personal individuation, but would rather function as individual units of a collective. The human was intended to become a sentient, self-motivated being, capable of choice and conscious co-creation with the soul matrix, rather than an unthinking extension of the soul matrix. So in those early times, the instinctual response of emotional cognition was partially dismantled. This involved deactivating certain Kalanta codes within the DNA pattern, which created a sense of separation from soul for the developing human. The separation allowed for a clearer focus in time and matter, through which the intellect could evolve and from which individualized identity emerged. As with many of the other disengaged codes, from the original soul matrices that existed prior to the host matrix transplants. These instinctual emotive codes were stored within the cellular pattern and the soul matrix. A small portion of them were left in operation, giving the human access to small amounts of soul matrix data and serving to provide enough instinctual basis to ensure appropriate action in regard to survival of the organism. These remaining codes became the basis for your fight or flight biochemical action response. The stored emotive codes, along with others, were kept with the human within the cellular structure, so as the organism evolved, those codes could once again be reassembled and integrated into the awareness of the growing consciousness. As humans evolved through time, certain code patterns would be activated by impulse from the soul matrix, and yet another stage of growth would be set in motion. Through these processes of Kilanta code activations, your species expanded from its earlier digressed forms of relative simplicity into the complexity of the present intellectually focused form that you carry. As you grew, so did your ability to synthesize emotional frequency, and greater amounts of these latent codes were brought into activation as you progressed through time. Great power and awareness is stored within these latent code particles, and it is this power that the maturing intellect sensed as it began to observe and define the quality of perception you call emotion. To the growing intellect, emotion appeared to be chaotic, unreliable, and suspicious. The intellect had developed into the logical reasoning power you presently use to decipher reality, but that logic used the assimilation of data from only the 5 senses that you presently know. The sense data and awareness, brought in by the 7 other higher senses, or high-frequency senses, was blocked from the logical mind by the biological organism, whose physical apparatus did not possess the mechanisms needed for this higher sense data to be synthesized into patterns. That apparatus would not evolve into the physical structure until the latent codes were activated by the soul matrix. So logic developed, but it was at a disadvantage, as the pool of information from which it had to draw conclusions was limited by the biological immaturity of the human form. Frog in a fishbowl. To use an analogy, logic developed as a frog in a fishbowl, whereas in its youth it could swim around in circles within the confines of its limited environment, but could not remove itself from that environment to discover the world which existed beyond the glass. Viewing the world it could see beyond the glass, the world seemed threatening, as the shapes and forms our frog could see made no sense. The frog presently had no experiential basis with which those mysterious forms could be correlated and understood. In its youth, the frog did not possess the physical apparatus that would allow it to escape from its fishbowl and explore the odd environment it could see beyond. Without activation of the Kilanta code patterns stored in the cells, the physical body of the human did not have the ability to expand its perception beyond its 5-sense world, nor was the human able to make sense of the strange new world of emotional impulse using the limited conceptual basis the 5 senses provided. As our frog grew, and legs began to sprout where once were fins, the frog discovered it now had the ability to leap out of its comfortable bowl and explore the strange world outside of the glass. As the human biology evolved, the neurological and physiological structures of the body grew, new Kilanta code sequences were activated, and the body could now begin to synthesize greater amounts of the latent emotional codes. The logical/intellectual mind could begin exploring the world of emotional impressions that were emerging into its awareness. But instead of leaping, our frog became afraid, choosing instead to swim around in circles within its ever-shrinking bowl, closing its eyes to the world that flashed by around it. As your species reached the point of biological development that would allow the emotional aspects of reality to be explored, the logical mind chose instead to remain within its limited environment of ideas, and pretend away the emotional impressions that were emerging more and more into conscious awareness. As long as our frog refuses to explore the world outside the bowl, it will not discover that it is fully equipped to make sense of that environment, and it will remain captive within the bowl, with very little room to move or grow. The free world beyond will remain unavailable. If the human species continues to repress and negate the emotional aspects of its being, which it is now biologically capable of synthesizing, the logical mind will never discover the freedoms that exist beyond the limits of its present ideas. The human will remain trapped within the bowl of duality and 5-sense perception, unable to grow beyond the conditions created through that five-sense orientation. The species will never become fully human as long as it cuts off from higher senses. If the species to fulfill the imprint and role for which it was created, it must become fully human. And this requires integration and synthesis of the latent Kalanta codes that give you the quality of perception you call emotion. In the infancy of intellect, it was appropriate for awareness to be placed within its tiny fishbowl of simple ideas, where it could grow and develop safely. But the fins have evolved into legs, in terms of our analogy, and the human logic still closes its eyes to the world of emotion and intuition. Afraid to leap, afraid to chart the territories of emotional cognition that exist beyond the glass of polarized perception. Human logic, at its present state of evolution, continues to try and comprehend that magical world within the limited confines of its own experiential memory. And like our frog, human logic will never comprehend the true reality of the world beyond the glass until it leaps out of the safe little bowl of beliefs it has been functioning within since its infancy. The logical mind and intellect were intended to work together, bringing you a more accurate perception of reality than either could alone. The five-sense perception of the logical mind brings only half of the picture, so you will never understand the true nature of yourselves or your world if you do not put that partial picture together with the other pieces that exist within your emotional heritage. You cannot understand emotion by using the logical facilities alone. How long will you remain as frogs in a fishbowl, swimming around in circles of incomplete logical reasoning? Emotion has its own logic, methods of synthesizing energy and ideas that are unique unto itself. The logic of the mind will bring you conclusions, whereas the logic of the emotions will bring you cognition. Without that cognition, operating subconsciously through the emotive facilities, your logical conclusions would make no sense to your conscious awareness. When you cut off emotional cognition from logical perception, you create an artificial boundary within your identity and conscious awareness. The emotional codes stored within cellular structure were intended to be reassembled and reorganized, as impulsed by the soul matrix, as you evolved through time. As these codes were restructured and assembled into the operative codes of your DNA, your conscious awareness would receive an ever-expanding picture of reality and cognition. The illusionary perceived separation between the conscious biological self and the soul identity would diminish as the codes were progressively assembled, allowing greater amounts of energy, identity, and awareness to filter into the physical body and intellectual consciousness. As the latent codes reassembled, the old instinctual imprint of the early human would be combined with the newly developed logical facility, creating a new perceptual modality that would allow for full soul matrix cognition to embody within a physically manifest system. If your evolution had moved along as planned, following the impulses generated through the soul matrix cycles, your physical form and your logical conscious awareness would have merged with the soul identity, creating a fully cognizant being in flesh. But your evolution did not proceed as intended, and there were setbacks, due in part to the manipulation of your genetic code by other ET forces. The violence mutation. At different periods in your evolution, these forces entered your reality, creating distortions within the electrical impulse patterns being sent by the soul matrix. These distortions serve to further jumble the Kalanta code particles within your cells, disrupting the original code activation sequences. There was originally specific order to the dismantled Kalanta codes, and their activation sequences were scheduled, so to speak. This order allowed for a clear pathway for energy to follow from the soul matrix into the biological form. The distortions created by the activities of numerous ET groups threw this innate order out of whack, so to speak, and the emergence of emotional impressions no longer followed the appropriate sequence. Codes were fired that did not have their counterpart receivers within the operating DNA, and the energy released by these code firings could not be filtered into the biological organism. Instead, this errant energy began to pool within the higher frequency sense facilities, distorting the natural order of those structures. The distortions emerged into the conscious awareness as errant emotional impulse, creating overly aggressive and inappropriate emotional reaction patterns that entered into the body through the existing fight or flight code structures that had been in operation. The fight or flight instinct pattern became overburdened with these unorganized electrical impulses, and the chemical and hormonal process of the body became unbalanced, creating the propensity for violent behavior now apparent within your human strain. As this sequence interruption occurred within the cellular imprint and was put online, through the operative fight or flight codes in the DNA, this distortion was genetically passed on through your species lineage, appearing in sporadic and random manifestations of biological mutation and psychological malalignment. The soul matrix, in an attempt to override this undesired mutation, reactivated more of the latent Kilanta codes with the intention of accelerating the body's development so the errant codes could be cleared, by linking them to sequences already operative in the DNA. What this translates into in terms of the development of your conscious awareness is yet another perceptual mode through which these additional energies could be synthesized. The birth of intuition began as the intuitive facility was added into your biological structure. The intuitive facility serves as a bridge between the original emotive codes and the divergent impulses arising from the mutation. Through the intuitive facility, emotional impulses could once again be synthesized through the body and into the linear patterning of the conscious, logical/intellectual mind. Without the intuitive facility, the excessive electrical impulses from the distorted emotional codes would have overloaded the biocircuitry of the body, creating a wide array of growth abnormalities that would have permanently stunted the evolution of the species. Intuition. Throughout your known history, the violence mutation directed events within the human drama. Your lineage bears the imprint of this mutation, as illustrated by your propensity towards self-destruction. Humans trapped within the self-destructive patterns were, and are, unable to synthesize the overload of electrical impulses coming into the body from the DNA and fight or flight mechanisms. This produces distorted mental assimilation and thus inappropriate emotive reactions. They possess immature intuitive development, and these individuals represent the portions of your genetic strain that have not yet fully manifested the intuitive bridge within their biological structures. The bridge, however, exists as a latent code within the DNA, and thus the self-destructive tendencies of humans can be healed through the activation of those codes and the development of the intuitive facility. All of you in your present stage of evolution are working toward the development and strengthening of the intuitive facility and the synthesis of those errant emotive codes. For this reason, exploring emotion can seem very difficult, as you will find many impulses that do not fit within your ideas of acceptability. You will discover seemingly senseless patterns of feelings emerging into awareness, and if these are allowed to govern the direction of the intellectual/logical facility, you will end up with chaos. The logical mind must learn to effectively direct, not repress, the emotional energies. We have explained to you the emotional mutation that is now present within your species strain because you need to know what you are dealing with as you begin to explore emotional reality and develop your higher senses. There are techniques that you can learn to use to assist in emotional healing, intuitive development, and activation of your higher senses. The techniques may make little sense to your conscious mind because presently you do not consciously understand the workings of these internal energy dynamics. To evolve the emotions and intuitions effectively, you must manipulate the Kilanta codes contained within your cells, and you cannot do this without the direction and knowledge supplied by your soul matrix. In setting the conscious intention to link with the energies of the soul matrix, you open the door for the needed information to enter your conscious awareness. For this reason, it is of primary importance that you develop the conscious ability to communicate directly with your soul matrix. As long as your logical mind refuses to learn the subtle dynamics of energy direction through the mind, you will not be able to bring into your awareness the knowledge you need to effectively clear the emotional energies. No one can clear your emotional imprint without you first consenting to the process. Once you have agreed to the process consciously, the soul matrix will begin to impulse you toward the actions necessary in the outside world that will facilitate this healing. If you are to become whole, if you are to integrate with the soul matrix, if you are to become fully human, you must clear and heal the emotional aspects of your being. Repressing emotion, drugging emotion out of existence, and fearing the power of your emotions will not promote healing. It will cause further buildup of errant energy and more biological and psychological manifestations of a chaotic nature. Those of you who have developed your intuitive abilities represent the portion of your species who have begun to utilize the Kalanta codes that were activated to bypass the mutation. You are further along in your genetic healing. Most humans have operational intuitive facilities that synthesize energy, emotion, and sense data for you on a subconscious level. Those of you who have linked the intuitions to the logical mind, who have expanded your beliefs and ideas to encompass conscious intuitive development, are ahead of the game, as you are learning to consciously direct your energies and follow the impulses of the soul matrix. Biologically, you are accelerating in evolution as you are assimilating greater amounts of the Kalanta codes within your cellular structure. You are becoming more aware and knowledgeable than your contemporaries, who rely upon the logical facilities and emotional repression alone. You have more power, more awareness, and more responsibility toward the conscious evolution of your species. And your first responsibility is to be healing yourselves through clearing the emotional energies and allowing the energy of the soul matrix to flow into your biological form. Then you will be prepared to help others of your kind approach the subconscious forces that move them. Through the intuitives will come many healing therapies aimed at clearing the emotional imprint, many ideas and practices that may seem foreign to the logical/intellectual minds of those who are still directed by the subconscious forces. Before you scoff at these illogical modalities, take inventory of how little you really know about the nature of your identity, the workings of your body, and the purpose for your existence. Before you discredit the practices that will allow your logical mind to grow, find humility, and realize that you have much to learn. Allow your frog of logic to leap beyond the confines of its bowl. Let your contemporaries, who have already passed through the maze of limiting ideas, guide you gently into your own healing through expanding your ideas. Try some of the new mind technologies that are available to you now, and ask the Soul Matrix to guide you. You can heal, and through the private healing of each individual will come the healing of the species. You have been programmed, by those who wish to see you fail in the fulfillment of your evolution, to remain in darkness, living in a world of duality in which you are always at the mercy of subconscious forces. They would like to see you remain fearful, frightened by the chaotic energy you can feel within you, and of a seemingly chaotic universe within which you reside. Do not allow them to win. You have the power within you to succeed beyond your wildest dreams, to experience realities free from the disease, sorrow, and confusion that your polarized perceptions create. So much wonder awaits you as you awaken to the truth of your heritage and take your rightful place within the universe. You are like a royal family dethroned by jealous factions, and you can reclaim the territories and majesty that once were your own. Treat yourselves as the royalty that you are, and treat your fellow humans, regardless of their position, as beloved members of that lineage. In taking responsibility for your own emotional reality and committing to the healing and evolution of your personal being, you will emerge triumphant, one by one, into the palace of your awakened identity. Then you can begin to call the others home. Your species can heal, and it must if its continuation is to be secured. There are many, from many places willing to help you. But only you can reach for growth, only you have the power to command the fulfillment of your evolution. Only you have the ability to awaken yourselves to see the realities beyond the illusions of your three-dimensional world. Only while you are sleeping, unaware of the truth of your identity, can the Zeta and others bring harm to you. You cannot be manipulated by holographic inserts or forced matrix transplants if your senses have developed to the point of seeing behind them and your logic has grown to understand how to avert them. If your logical/intellectual awareness would get out of its own way, your emotional and intuitive facilities would bring your entire being into balance under the direction of the soul matrix. As long as you allow logic to rule, you will not grow to understand the logic of the higher senses. Your logical mind can be the frog who becomes the prince, or it can become the toad, burying itself in the sands of fragmented perception. We suggest that you muster the courage to leap out of the bowl of your limited ideas and perceptions and begin to explore the strange new world of multidimensional reality and identity that flashes by everywhere around you. Just beyond the distorted emotional imprints, you will discover the original pattern and sequence of the emotional codes. The emotions, in their organic form, possess a logic and a beauty that you can barely fathom. There is an order and intrinsic structure which is created and maintained through the Kalanta codes, and these are anything but chaotic. Your logic has become disconnected from the greater structures of which it is a part. Just as the Kalanta codes were used by others to create this artificial separation and resulting chaos, so too can they be used to restore the organic order and reling the logical mind to its wholeness of identity. In other transmissions, we will offer information on the technologies you can use to heal yourselves. We will introduce those of you who desire to know more to the Kalanta codes, and teach you how you may begin using Kalanta therapeutics to accelerate your healing and evolution. Meanwhile, there are many new mind technologies available, many communications from other knowledgeable sources that can set you on your way toward awakening. You can protect yourselves from covert manipulation, holographic inserts, and forced matrix transplants by making the conscious intention of linking with your soul matrix. And by developing the intuitive aspects of your humanity, you can sense such manipulations through the intuitions and emotions. So developing awareness of and sensitivity to these felt impressions of subtle energy is the most important thing you can do to ensure your safety. Learn to consciously channel the energy of your soul matrix into your conscious mind, and you will have a direct interior guidance system to steer you away from harmful situations that exist outside of your range of perception. Remember, the soul matrix is always there. The soul never forgets you, as you are a living portion of its own personal experience. It is you, the human, that has forgotten the soul and your ability to consciously communicate with that greater identity. Remember and awaken, and you will be safe. In the next section, we will return to our discussion of the adjacent Earth system in which the Zeta Old agenda has succeeded. We will take time to discuss this subject because the realities in that system have a direct bearing upon the future of your Earth system. We hope to show you through this information what you can evolve to avoid, and to illustrate the reasons why it is important that you do. Chapter 6, Special Projects Crop Circles. Our discussion on the phenomenon you refer to as crop circles will be brief at this time, enough perhaps to arouse your curiosity about the nature of events, such as this, that you do not as yet understand. The items we are referring to in this discussion are the land-marking formations that have appeared through seemingly mysterious means within many areas of your global community. Our discussion excludes those crop circle formations that have been fraudulently constructed by select humans who desire covert notoriety or whom purposely desire to lead you away from the validity of actual crop circling. Also excluded in our discussion will be the circular and other formations in fields and in other locations that are the result of mechanical contact, such as that of an aircraft or spacecraft from human or ET origins. To those of you who may balk at the concept of ET visitations, we say to you, prepare yourselves, for throughout the next several decades, much learning shall come your way. ETs are real, and their visitations should by now be obvious to you. Pay attention and you will begin to see the mounting evidence suggestive of such presence all about you. Genuine crop circles, and the many other than circular symbol patterns, that are emerging spontaneously overnight in your fields, deserts and countrysides are far more than you might at first glance suspect. Those who venture to believe in the authenticity of these formations speculate that they are perhaps landing coordinates for ET spacecraft or messages left behind from stellar visitors who have passed through your system. We will tell you this: these symbol formations are not at all landing pads, nor are they simply dry ET language symbols left behind by some long-gone visitor. They are far more indeed. First, let it be known that the appearance of such a symbol code is the direct indication that ET and or interdimensional visitor presence is presently and actively taking place within the regions of its manifestation. Where you have crop circles, you most absolutely have active alien operations being carried out within the geography and the populace in and surrounding those areas. The crop circles will begin to fade only when the presence responsible for creating them has left the location. So as long as a crop formation remains visible, you have active and ongoing alien presence. Just as there are ETs possessing benign intentions towards humans, and others with ill-purposed agendas, so too are there crop circles with benign, helpful, or harmful purposes. Crop formations are not created through the use of mechanical devices, nor are most of them formed through laser-like technologies. The majority of these formations are created through direct manipulation of subatomic energy imprints, whereas the designs emerge as part of the organic air/land pattern of the particular geography. They are cast, so to speak, within the electromagnetic imprint of the organic elements as a result of intended multidimensional manipulations carried out by visitors. Neurological stimulation. Some crop formations serve the purpose of stimulating or accelerating the subtle neurological structures of the local inhabitants, while others serve to repress, scramble, or desensitize those subtle biological processes. Crop formations are one application of the multidimensional language of Kilanta. It is the language spoken by the core of your biologies, and by the very nature of your elemental world itself. Crop formations have multiple purposes. Their primary purpose is to house frequency, or to ground into the location certain frequency bands intended to affect the populace in very specific ways. They are composed of frequency patterns, and they directly affect the frequency patterns of all biological life forms within their intended range of influence. This range can span a radius well over several thousand miles from its point of origin. The formations are often placed in sequential fashion, sometimes thousands of miles apart, but each serving as part of a greater frequency pattern that is nearly impossible to detect from ground-level human perception. Crop formations are your first visible, physical evidence of ET presence presently available to you on a mass level. They are subliminal programming devices being used to manipulate, direct, or guide you through the intimate unknown structures of your subconscious minds and biochemical and electrical systems. They are one type of what we know as mass frequency control devices. You are dealing here with technologies light years beyond the scope of your present human abilities. Many of the crop formations have been placed so as to assist you by counteracting the effects of other placements that were intended to do harm. Presently, there are more helpful crop formations parts. More will appear as you progress into the next century. It is important for you to understand that whether the formations are harmful or helpful, they are directly influencing you in complex ways on subliminal levels. You must learn to use them, or they will instead serve as the vessels through which you are used. Attempting to destroy the visible evidence of such a formation will in no way disarm its attributes. Once it is in place, the frequency it harnessed has been indelibly coded into the land, air, and biological forms of the region. It is for this reason that the helpful ETs, who became aware of how the formations were being used to harm you, found it necessary to counter the offending codes rather than to simply disengage them from operational focus. There is much you need to learn about such advanced technologies, and those such as ourselves are quite willing to share our knowledge with you, so that you may learn the skills required to protect yourselves from those who wish to do and who are presently doing harm to large percentages of your populations. We will offer more extensive data on the mechanics of crop formations at a future time, for those of you interested in learning more about the hidden realities that affect you. We hope this transmission has offered to you some practical insight into the mysterious phenomenon you call crop circles. Adjacent Earth and Zeta. In these transmissions, we have discussed the subjects of UFOs and ET and interdimensional visitors, as well as a wide range of related topics that we hope have broadened your understanding or at least aroused your curiosity. All of the subjects addressed are relevant to your continued development and successful evolution, whether you realize this or not. The information on the Zeta Reticuli is intended specifically for those who have encountered this presence, and there are many more of you than you might suppose. Your assistance and courage are needed to help direct the remaining unenlightened Zeta toward their higher vision, as held by the Ethian and other guardian groups. Through the fulfillment of this vision, the Zeta will be able to evolve successfully within another dimension more suitable to their needs, and they will no longer believe they must compete with humans for the territory of your three-dimensional Earth. Helping them to heal and grow will ensure your protection well into the future, as they will have no need to harm you once they realize as a collective that there is another home for them within the universe. Certain among you, the readers, are being called to assist in a special project of sorts, which involves the Zeta, Ethian, Zionites, and the Ranthia. Those of you who carry the silicate matrix/crystal gene within your genetic code, and who have begun to develop abilities in multidimensional perception and manipulation. You will know who you are, and if this message is appropriate for you. The rest of you not involved in these endeavors can get a glimpse into some of the activities that are taking place beyond your notice. We have discussed the realities of other dimensional worlds as they exist parallel and adjacent to you own, and how the Zeta are able to travel through some of these other systems. We have reviewed the new Zeta agenda of relocation to an adjacent dimension where they will be welcomed. Many of the Guardian groups are working to assist the Zeta in making this adjustment, and humans, those of you who are ready, are being asked to serve as the true Earth Guardians that you are by working cooperatively with the other Guardian groups to ensure the success of the new Zeta agenda. You are being asked to telepathically broadcast, to the Zeta communities at large, the knowledge of this new option, and use your abilities in mental energy linking to help them align with one of the interdimensional grids assigned to them. You'll achieve this by using visualization and projection of consciousness techniques during times of directed meditation, and after centering in the energies of your soul matrix. Those to whom we speak in this message know what we are talking about. These techniques will seem foreign only to those who have not awakened their higher senses. Some of you are already doing this, and we thank you for your concern and support. There are other elements to this Zeta relocation that we need to address briefly, for those who are awakening to their soul matrix contracts of participation in this plan. The adjacent Earth that the Zeta are being directed to will be a good learning environment for the Zeta. It is a fourth dimension Earth system. This system also has its human, ET, and interdimensional inhabitants. It is a system of much less density than your own, and so the natural laws operate differently than those to which you are accustomed. Many of you, the starseeds, those of you carrying the silicate matrix, are able to access the portals to this system during your sleep state, the sacred dream time, or during altered states of consciousness. Some of you are able to hold focus in this fourth dimensional world and your own world simultaneously, and are somewhat familiar with the lay of the land in this locality. You may be involved with this project during the dream time, but have no conscious recall. This reminder will help you to consciously recall some of what you have been up to while you were sleeping. It is to you with dual focusing abilities to whom we now speak. Again, you will know who you are. First, we would like you to understand, if you do not already, that the events in this fourth dimensional world directly affect manifestations within your three-dimensional system. What occurs there will plant the seeds for what eventually manifests within your system. In the world to which the Zeta are being directed there exist structures and forms similar to your own. Just as there are unenlightened forces, often in high places within your governmental structures, these forms also exist with this fourth dimensional reality. The Zeta need your help to integrate themselves into this system, but of even more importance, those working toward enlightenment in that dimension need your help to redirect some of the misguided projects taking place within their world. One of these projects in particular must be shifted, for if it is not, its pattern will manifest in your world, in your future. It is the project of the old Zeta agenda and the secret interior government that we previously discussed in relation to your three-dimensional system. In this fourth dimensional system, this project has progressed farther than it presently has within your system. In earlier chapters, we reviewed some of the aspects observable within a Zeta-ruled society. What is taking place within this fourth dimensional Earth represents the evolution of that society. In this locality, the invisible Big Brother has done a number of things, which have left the inhabitants of that time-space coordinate without many of the freedoms you presently enjoy. Here, the interior government has chosen to barter the organic resources of their planet to intrusive ET factions within their galaxy. Energy is being siphoned from their planet and their people, and is being directed into other planetary systems. The consequences for them are dire if the project moves forth into their future. Not only will they destroy the planetary balances of their own system, but they will set in motion a chain reaction that will literally cut off this world, and its surrounding galaxies and interdimensional counterparts, from the time matrix grid. They will rip a hole in the fabric of time, so to speak. In the sectors of off from its higher dimensional grid. In that line of probable future development of Earth, the Earth meets an untimely end in the year 2976 AD. The 2976 AD cataclysm is further addressed in Voyager's Volume 2, The Secrets of Amenti. All of us who are concerned with human and universal evolution to enlightenment are helping to avert this probability. We are trying to disconnect your Earth coordinate from the adjacent system that is in peril. In order to do this, and to stop this pattern from manifesting within your reality, the pattern must be altered from above, within and below its frequency placement. Your world exists below, and your help is needed. In this fourth dimensional system, the interior government works behind the scenes, while a puppet government maintains the illusion of freedom for the people. The one world order is in place within this world, and so this structure applies globally. Here the interior government is particularly interested in creating a human-like hybrid mutation, but not in combination with the Zeta race. In this system the Zeta plan backfired, and they were denied the fruits of their labors, as the technology they had provided was used in agreements with outside ET groups, to the exclusion of the Zeta. The interior government collaborated with the reptilian Draco's race to overthrow the Zeta power holdings. The Zeta were reduced to a working-class status, and live in fear of the now more powerful interior government and its new Draco's allies. The Zeta had provided the technology and knowledge of genetics that the interior government needed to create the hybrid prototype species it desired. The leaders planned to create these bodies and then re-inhabit them. The hybrid prototype had many physical advantages compared to the human body, or possessed them if you will, along with chosen members of their Draco's allies. This super race was created with the primary purpose of having a biology that was strong and resilient enough to move through the time and interdimensional portal systems without being destroyed. The covert government and its allies are aware of the damage they have been doing to their planet and believe that one day their resources will be expended or contaminated to the degree that their survival will not be possible. Nuclear energy is also used in this fourth dimensional system, and they have only partially discovered how to neutralize the waste materials. They have violated and disrupted the natural balances of their oceans with waste treatment and realize they cannot continue this process. Using technology of the Zeta, they have instead devised a way of transporting the radioactive materials, in small amounts, into other dimensional systems, through the portals they have accessed. Your system is one of those on their target list for such dumping. This process has not yet begun, in terms of your time orientation, but will be instrumented within the next 40 to 50 years of your time, if your Earth is not shifted out of alignment with this fourth dimensional time continuum. This time shift is addressed extensively in Voyager's Volume 2, The Secrets of Amenti. Their method seems ingenious from the outside. Understanding some of the relationships between objects, matter, and time that exist between parallel dimensions, their scientists have created a way to transmit radioactive materials from their generators into other generators that exist within a parallel or adjacent time-space coordinate in other dimensions. If this should occur, your scientists would find themselves baffled, as the amount of radioactive waste created in your plants would appear to double, with no increase in power output or source materials. The waste materials would appear to you as being intensified in power, or radioactivity. And your technologies are light years away from being able to decipher how this intensification is occurring or from where the increased radioactivity is emerging. Needless to say, such an event would prove treacherous to your system, as not only are you not prepared to dispose of such intensified waste, but your reactors themselves are not designed to process those amounts of radioactivity. Over time, this stress would cause your reactors to explode. Period. The fourth dimension scientists are aware of this possibility, but they are not concerned with these outcomes for you. Their only concern is in being able to shut the portals prior to your system's reactor overloads, so when they blow their own reactors will not be destabilized in the process. In their plan, your reactors would not overload immediately, as the excess radioactive materials would be filtered into a state of dimensional suspension or suspended animation, then slowly released into your and other systems. Over time, the process would create buildups and more rapid deterioration of your processors. The interior fourth dimension government views this as a good temporary solution to their problems. They do not realize the dire effects and chain reactions it would create for all systems involved. This project must be redirected from your three-dimensional system. We will elaborate upon this as our discussion continues. Part of what is now taking place within that society is the involuntary abduction of women who possess desired genetic strains, and the chemical sterilization of all men and women the government considers to be of a lesser genetic heritage. Children are born by permit only, and many people have been put to death for unlawful procreation. The puppet government runs a campaign of disinformation and propaganda whereby the populace is led to believe that these policies are in the best interest of the global community. As if these conditions were not bad enough, the covert forces have begun the process of mass mutation, while the populace over which it has control has no knowledge of what is being done to them. Contrived chemical elements are added to the water and food supply. The air is drugged with ionic enhancers 7 and inaudible sound and frequencies are being employed to manipulate and control the biological and mental processes of the people. The population has no idea these things are taking place. No idea that slowly their bodies are being destroyed and cut off completely from their soul matrices. 8. Most of the population within this fourth dimensional world is human. The human species within that reality is being destroyed and mutated into extinction as a biological entity. This system is tightly controlled. Individuals in these cultures cannot receive telepathic or Kalanta communications such as you can. Their intuitive facility has been chemically blocked, without their knowledge. Their emotions have been sedated and drained of energy, and their minds have been controlled through the use of electromagnetic interruption. They are slaves without the luxury of knowing it. They think they are free people and they cannot see their own digression. You may feel unconcerned about this information. After all, this world exists in another dimension and you have your own problems. Well, let us tell you this. Your three-dimensional system is one of the coordinates their rulers have in mind for experimentation. They have not yet decided whether your system will be used as a new home when their planet's resources are depleted, or whether you will be used as a dumping ground for their radioactive waste materials. But either way, because you are so closely related in your time portal systems, your area of the dimensional map is a primary target. One part of their plan involves the infiltration of such target systems. Events in your present time directly affect conditions in T-hat future time continuum. And it is for this reason that the unenlightened Zeta currently desire to place your populations under mind control. The connections between your Earth and this D4 system is further discussed in Voyagers Volume 2, Secrets of Amenti. Your system already possesses the interior government and will soon be linking into the World Bank and what has been called the World Management Team. These entities are already a reality within your system. The public will remain unaware as these structures grow in power. Presently, they do not possess the power or knowledge held by the fourth dimensional adjacent system. Most of these manifestations within your system stem from this fourth dimensional system. They are attempting to infiltrate your system, and if successful, turn it into another version of what they have created within their home territory. You, as relatively free humans, must not allow this to happen. In this adjacent system, everything seems beautiful and harmonious to the naked eye. People seem to be blissful, not unlike what a massive dose of a mood-enhancing drug added to your water supply might do for you. The illusion of beauty is a perpetually maintained holographic insert that the humans there believe is reality. As the emotional and intuitive aspects of these people are being controlled, they are unable to feel the true reality beneath the hologram. If an individual somehow begins to sense that something is amiss, begins to question, becomes fatigued with such concerns, the government is fast to assist him. If healing drugs are not successful in reprogramming his thoughts and realigning him with the propaganda program, the individual is sent away for rehabilitation. Family and friends are allowed to visit. However, the person they visit is also a hologram, as the human who entered treatment has been destroyed. You must become aware that your system is dangerously close to directly interfacing with this fourth-dimensional reality field. That reality exists as one of your potential futures. One you all could do very well without. There are things that you, as enlightened and awakening humans, can do to assist those in your world who are aligned with this potential future. And there are many who fit into this category. Let us look for a moment at your American culture, the greatest example of a free citizenry and enterprise system on your planet at this time. What do you think is the mindset of the norm, the average human functioning within that system? We are referring here to the cultural or tribal mind, the consensual reality. In the official view of things, those ideas perpetuated through your media, your social, business and religious institutions and your schools, you are taught to believe that some things are true, others are not. Some behaviors are acceptable, others not, and some ideas valid, others not. You are taught to view your reality and define yourselves in a certain way in order to be acceptable, functional, and normal within your cultural boundaries. We shall call these views and definitions the base program upon which your citizens function. Within the complex network of theologies and ideologies of your belief systems there exist central ideas or core beliefs, upon which all the other beliefs are stacked or out of which the other surface beliefs emerge. The majority of people operate on this base program of culturally mandated beliefs automatically. The program, its core elements, and even the knowledge that the program exists operate on what you would call subconscious levels. This implies that these inner programs are directing you, rather than you directing or consciously choosing them. This means that, as individuals, you are not owning your personal power. You are not empowered, but rather disempowered, as these subconscious programs direct the workings of your mental, emotional, and physical system. In this age of enlightenment, part of your healing, part of your evolutionary challenge, is to reclaim that power, access those hidden programs and attain sovereignty over those hidden portions of your identity. In this way you will become enlightened, powerful and free to choose consciously the ideas and beliefs that direct the patterns of your inner forces. Now we shall ask, does your mainstream consensual reality teach you of these things? Do you learn from childhood that you are a blessed multidimensional being here to manifest self-sovereignty? Are you taught that you are meant to be powerful, fulfilled and free? Does your training prepare you to work cooperatively in co-creation with others? Or does it teach you to separate yourself from others and compete for limited rewards? Do the ideas of those around you convince you that the world is a safe and joyful place, or do they suggest that the world is cold and dangerous? Are you trained to reach out to your fellow humans in trust, or to be suspicious, protect yourself and retreat in fear? Are you taught to love yourselves, your bodies and others, or to judge and condemn? Are you taught of the ways of loving, cooperative, co-creative brotherhood in mainstream thought? The answer to these questions is an obvious no. Just examine your daily newspapers and television broadcasts, or attend a local business school. What attitudes and subtle suggestions do they imply? Your mainstream program tells you that everywhere you are helpless and victimized by forces beyond your control, that the world is a harsh and cruel place of limited resources for which you must compete, that your bodies are vulnerable and unable to protect themselves against disease, that humanity is chaotic or sinful and human nature cannot be trusted. You are trained to believe through constant repetition and reinforcement that there is not enough and you must always need more, and that you are not enough. Not pretty enough or smart enough, strong enough, fast enough, powerful enough, wealthy enough, or good enough. You are taught, just as your parents had been, to believe that you are only what exists between the top of your head and the tip of your toes. You are trained to doubt the self, fear the self, punish the self, and to place your trust in authorities or experts that exist outside of you. You are taught to long for but be afraid of power, and to fear your ability to handle it wisely. Emotion is power, and so it is expected that within this program you are taught to invalidate and repress emotional cognition. The intuitions and higher senses give you direct access to greater power and knowledge. And you are taught to negate, fear, devalue, disown and discredit intuitive perception and knowledge. Does it sound like this official mainstream program is designed to help you to become empowered or free? You are programmed to believe that what is on the outside is more important than what is on the inside, and to continually distract yourselves with the more important external aspects of reality. Does your mainstream program encourage you to look within for answers, to discover your own innate power to create change, or to spend time exploring the vast uncharted frontier that exists between your ears? The average American is far too busy, overburdened, or distracted to take the time to explore the self. Everything else seems more important. And many are far too intellectually smug to admit that the self is a great unknown, and too frightened to approach the inner psyche with an open mind. In your present consensual reality program, you are trained from infancy to disown the self, to subjugate yourselves to outside authority, and to project your personal power outward onto other people or circumstances. From birth, you are trained to accept the perceptions of others as being more valid than your own, and to appease others at all costs. You are directed into schools that are designed to squelch creativity and personal identity, to create good little students who obey their teachers and follow the rules. Then you enter into an economic structure that further programs you to obey the authorities, work for others, and allow others to benefit in unfair proportions from the investments of your energies and labor. You are taught that in order to survive you must either please others at all cost, because they hold your power, or to fight your way through the system to make it, and forcibly reclaim your power. Sacrifice the self, serve others, work hard, make more, buy more, need more, compete, push, produce. Look at the messages your mainstream reality and its hidden belief program are sending your citizens over and over. Look at how you are create disease in your bodies and minds, because no one ever told you that you had the power to change the program and make better, healthier idea choices. No one ever told you that thoughts are things that create reality. The base program that people of your time have been subconsciously following has trained you to close your minds, and to fear, judge and condemn many of the ideas and technologies, such as those of intuitive development, that would heal you and set you free. We are simply asking you, for the sake of your evolution, to look at the program. And ask yourselves, does it nurture human potential or does it limit its possibilities? Is it a humane program of ideas that begets brotherhood and harmony? Or does it create separation, segregation, and power struggle? Does it allow you to love and honor yourselves and others? Does it teach you respect for all life? It does not. Beloved humans, who do you think is responsible for changing the program? Religions? God? The government? The doctors and scientists? The bureaucracies? These are the very organizations and institutions that stand to benefit most from keeping these self-defeating programs intact. When people can lead themselves, they do not need leaders, and when people can heal themselves, they do not need healers. When people realize that God exists within them and that they exist within that force, they will not need others to save them. Discovering, comprehending, changing and healing the base belief program is the responsibility of each individual whose life is immersed within and controlled by that program. And each individual that can successfully make conscious changes and create a more rewarding idea program makes it easier for the next person to succeed. We have spoken to you of the fourth dimensional adjacent Earth and of the plight of the people living within that system, a reality your mainstream belief program would tell you does not exist. We have done a bit of program bashing in regard to your consensual reality. What do these issues have in common? Where do you think much of your three-dimensional brainwashing base belief program is coming from? It is coming from this fourth-dimensional system. Should it not be just a bit worrisome to you that the majority of people within your first-world countries are subconsciously operating on this base idea program? The lightworkers, those embracing the path of enlightenment who are working toward the successful evolution of the species, of this information age, healing alternatives to your planet. They offer to you an expanded, less limited, health-giving program of ideas. They will become self-aware, empowered creators who are able to break free from the brainwashing of the old base program. And they will light the way for others to follow. We call them light workers because they bring light of understanding to your species. They will have the courage to break through the old program, creating freedom through mastery and brotherhood through love. Through the new program of ideas they offer, you will be led, if you so choose, out of the subconscious controls of the fourth dimensional system, and in your freedom you will leave a new pathway of thought for those trapped within that system to follow. In helping yourselves, in growing, you will assist those within the fourth dimensional system to grow. Even though you reside dimensions apart, you are connected in ways that you cannot yet understand. And just as their idea programs affect you and your world, so too can your chosen programs affect that reality. And so when we ask you to assist them, we are asking you to take control of the program as it operates within your own private psyche. Free yourselves and learn to create brotherhood and joy while you still have freedom to make that conscious choice. In doing so, you will affect much more than you realize. In future transmissions, we will introduce you to the Kalanta Code technologies so you may begin using these tools as you work to heal your base idea programs. What will happen to those who choose to remain trapped within the illusion of comfort and security offered by the old program? What future might they be headed for? Perhaps a dimensional interface with that fourth dimensional world we described. Could it be possible that the people upon the earth are beginning to sort themselves into categories defined by the focus of their subconscious core belief programs? Each group preparing to meet a version of Earth's future that is consistent with that focus? If you had a greater understanding of universal physics and the operational cycles and dynamics of the time and dimensional portal systems, those questions would be statements, for you would understand the greater evolution of which your species and Earth are a part. Consider this question for a moment. If this was a true depiction of the circumstances upon your planet, which probable version of Earth would you be aligned with? What base idea program do you follow? Have you ever stopped to consider what ideas and beliefs motivate your actions and emotions from a subconscious level? This perhaps is a good time to begin exploring. Those of you who have already developed interdimensional skills and are fluent in the languages of the higher senses are needed to assist those among you who are trapped within the old consensual reality program to redirect the energies of their beliefs. The greatest way to make a difference in the third dimensional arena is to use your interdimensional mind skills and project your consciousness into the fourth dimensional field. Simply hold the intention in mind. Where the thought goes, energy flows. From there you can manifest whatever you hold in mind into three-dimensional reality. Hold the vision, freedom and brotherhood, and you will create change. The fourth dimensional world we speak of exists now, in dimensional coordinates different than your Earth, but it also exists as a future reality for some of those now residing upon your Earth. There is a select group of light workers in your system now that have come to work on this or similar projects. You will know who you are as you will feel intuitively drawn to this information. If you would like more information or desire to communicate with us, you may request an encounter with the Ranthia during meditation or prior to sleep. We are willing to assist those who desire our involvement. You have been drawn into your reality for a reason. Only you can discover what that reason is and what significance this information holds for you. To grow beyond them. Early in our transmission, we mentioned that there are 2 advanced ET groups presently working within your Earth system who have the knowledge and power of holographic and portal mechanics. The Zeta and the Ranthia both exist as smaller subgroups within the larger identity of these collectives. The Ranthia could be viewed as the guardians and overseers of the time portal projects, and we are closely affiliated with those who have been called the Keepers of Time, Maya, in your system. We would represent the greater identity gestalt, having a variety of race manifestations within various reality fields, out of which the Maya collective had emerged into your system. We, the Ranthia, and other time portal guardian groups are beginning to interface with your system once again, as we always do when the cycles of time put your system within proximity to our own. Some humans are also involved in the time portal projects through subconscious, from your perspective, soul matrix agreements. We will give you a clue as to which.
Right here, this. No, this is. This right here. We think it's air, but I realize that if I stop, close my nose and mouth for 4 minutes, if I'm separated from this substance for 4 minutes, my heart don't stop. My brain don't even stop. My body functions don't stop. The first thing I lose is consciousness. I pass out. I can no longer stay aware. So I started to say, well, wait a minute. I'm not just breathing in air. I'm breathing in consciousness. I'm inhaling and exhaling God itself. Right here, this. Let me introduce you to the. We've really thought that this day. A micro.
Would you like me to pick you up? Structure. You're watching these legal.
Why she moving? Why she moving? Babe, you don't want to be here? What happened? What did you get? What did I buy you that you gotta leave?
She's gonna live in LA. We'll be able to visit
No,
anytime we
she
want.
don't need to live in LA. She don't need to live in LA. She can live here.
Did you hear her? She's 20.
I don't care. You can be 35. You don't gotta make it good over here.
It's gonna be us, me and you. We'll hang
I
out.
don't want to be me and you. I want her. We're not complete. We're not complete. She's breaking up the family.
You're making a scene. You're upsetting her.
I don't want you to go. Put everything back. Why she moving? Why she moving? You can be mad at me all you want, but you can't be on mom's phone Googling anime lesbians and not know how to delete your search history and act like that's my fault. You gotta be smarter than that.
Tiki came from the ASPCA through what they call a community case. He was described as by far the most shut down dog that they had seen. When the Dodo saw our foster journey, they asked me to share more of my experience. He did not leave his bed for probably 4 or 5 days. It is day 6 with our extremely fearful shutdown foster dog. I'm going to give him the opportunity to explore the apartment. I took the gate surrounding his crate away. As soon as I stopped trying to force his progress was when he started to show progress, and it was very slow. He started doing this thing pretty early on, which was such a signal to me that he was capable of feeling joy, and that was his back wiggles. I feel like when we foster these dogs, a lot of people don't realize how the smallest milestone is such a big deal. You and I know how impactful these moments are. All of these things were so slow, but they were so monumental to me. I believe it was day 13 that he came up to me and really requested that I pet him. What would you say was your we made it moment? When he climbed into my lap for the first time. It is day 30 with my extremely brave, inspiring foster dog. Feels so honored that I get to be his safe person. What I want people to...
I just found out we have a black family in the neighborhood.
I wonder where he's gonna go with this.
I met the dad at carne asada night at the Mexican's house last week.
Okay, go on.
We got to talking, and he invited us to a cookout at their house yesterday.
All right, you in there?
So I got really excited because I found a potato salad recipe on social media that I've been wanting to try.
I just press this button and...
I'll be your server today. What was your name?
Lane,
I'm Sam. Lovely to meet you, Elaine. I think I know you from somewhere.
TV,
What was your story?
I'm 86, I'm 87. I still work cleaning.
Oh my gosh.
2 years tomorrow, she lost her husband.
And you're still working at 86. Why is that, if you don't mind me asking?
Money.
What age did you start working?
13, cleaning now. I've been cleaning all my life.
You can't afford to retire?
My boss got real sick. She had cancer. She's got no help. Nobody wants to work for $10 an hour. So,
$10 an hour at 86.
Yeah.
You're so strong. So your husband, I think I saw something about him serving.
he got married at 17. We ran away. He was in the Marine Corps.
So he was a veteran.
Yeah.
How long did he serve for?
6 years.
You must miss him a lot.
Sure do. Every day.
Your anniversary, how many years was it?
It would be 60.
That's incredible. When he passed, were you left with any debt?
Yeah, like hospital bills a lot.
And you had to look after your husband in hospital?
Well, he had 5 bypasses. He thought everything would give him more time. It deteriorated from the inside out. So he suffered pretty bad blood. But he's a worker.
So the truth is, I actually flew all the way to Michigan because I'm traveling to 50 states to help 50 veterans. In honor of your husband, we decided to pass that baton from him on to you. We're going to open a fundraiser to 15 million.
I don't know what to say, but thank you so much.
Miracles happen, people care. Excuse me.
Happy, how are you?
I'm still 2.
No, girl, you're 3. You're 3 years old today.
I'm still little. I have a deal.
Can you say the alphabet backwards again?
Ow!
No, she don't.
Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Oh my God. Movie theater
This girl thought her uncle was her dad's brother her whole life, but that was when she learned the shocking truth about them.
Dad, you're on speaker, so don't say anything bad. Yeah? What's his last name?
But she was confused because no one in their family had the same last name.
But there's no... Is he your brother?
His last name is short for something else. I don't know.
I know, but wait, is he your brother? Is he Mom's brother? So...
She finally learned that her uncle wasn't actually related to her, but if that wasn't enough...
And Nicole's not her aunt either?
This girl thought her uncle was...
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm a Christian man, and I'm just confused why that there's this notion that we might owe Israel something, or that they're our greatest ally, or that we have to support this multi-$100 billion foreign aid package to Israel to cover this, to quote Charlie Kirk, ethnic cleansing in Gaza. I'm just confused why this idea has come around, considering the fact that not only does their religion not agree with ours, but also openly supports the prosecution of ours. Yeah, so thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Some of these abduction, one less adjustment. Can you hear me? Yes. Hear the sound of your own voice. Yes. Alice, put a video for you. How are you feeling right now? What's the best part of this?
Go down one. But if you cry, it's fine. Not the first.
One last adjustment.
He was breathing. It was really sad to see. He didn't play with his toys. You could see him just longing for connection and longing for somebody to spend his time with. Dina was 15 and a half, and Keppa was 14.
A couple little seniors.
They were just really each other's sense of home. Dina had a pretty bad heart murmur, and she was on medication for it, but she started to decline and passed away. My biggest fear was then that Keppa was going to decline there too. It is really sad to see seniors at the shelter. You don't know how much time they have left. And in Dina's case, she never found her home. So I was dedicated to find Keppa a new home. Volunteers would go in and sit with him and love on him because he was lonely. We were eager to find the right fit for him and a companion. I'm happy to report Keppa was adopted.
Today's gonna be a good day, buddy. Today's gonna be
Oh.
It was so cute. His new adopter came and visited him a couple days before because she did fly over from another island.
Oh dear.
And she spent a lot of time with him that day. He was happy to be out and about hanging out with her. Keppa is going to now live the best final chapter of his life.
Look at him smile.
Oh dear.
I've spent full
Mm-mm.
I think I'm pretty close to $400 there. 400? Oh, more than that? $1,000?
I told you.
These are really good charms still. I never did put them on my charm bracelet. This is some scrap gold pieces. And this. Yeah, no, I'll pawn stuff down the bottom. So I wanted to see what I could get here before I did pawn anything. Okay. I use the computer. Oh, okay. Yeah, all these charms. Like I said, they've never been put on the bracelet. I just wanted. I can get a charm. Well, no, I got the bracelet, but I wanted to fill it up a little bit before I started putting the charms in there. So. I don't sell that. I don't wear it anymore. Yeah, I didn't even know you guys existed. I stumbled across him next door. I had him in my car for the longest period of time, trying to find it. Somebody that to alter them. Because a lot of people didn't know that material. So that's like your shop. I think I'm pretty close to $400 there. 400? Oh, more than that? A little bit less. Oh, you're laughing at 600? Yeah, 600. $10,000? Are you kidding me? I told you. Oh my God. That's why when you were saying, hey, I might have to pawn this stuff to get a laptop, I'm like, how expensive is this laptop? They're getting it through the school and it's a big laptop. This will pay for my car getting fixed now. In fact, one of those, I think I'm pretty close to.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh dear.